Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create your parallax effect in your Flutter project. As you can see here, I have a sample app running, and once I scroll left or right, you can see the image move as well. So this is the effect. So you can also customize it the way you want and improve it. Let's get started. So at this point, I'm assuming that you have your SDK running and your Flutter is working properly. Right here, I'm having a simple template. That's the default template that comes with Flutter. Here, I'm having the main.dat, which is running my app here, and this is the class my app. And inside this my app, I'm having the parallax effect, which is the one we are actually working on. So right here, you can see I'm using an empty scaffold, which you can see on the emulator here. It's empty, and we are going to do our effects inside this scaffold. So let's start some preparation. So here we are going to create a page controller, and I'll name it controller. So we use the viewport fraction. We'll use 0.8. We are going to be generating random images from the web. So we'll start by saying final list, and the type of list is going to be a string. So we just name this list images. So this list, we're going to say list.generate. So we are going to generate the length, which is at this point, you can generate any amounts you want, but at this point I'll just generate 6. Then the generator will be an index. Let's say short. So at this point, I'm using this link to generate the images. So what it does actually, this website or the link actually generates images for us. It's just spec_sum. So what it does here, we use the ID method, then we generate it using the index, the length we want. So we can choose from the index to the particular length, and these ones are the sizes we want to use. So next in the scaffold, what we want to do is to create the widget. Let's start by calling the body. The body of the scaffold is going to carry a center widget. Now this center widget, the child will be a size box. Now the size box, we are going to use height of 400. You can actually use any height you want based on your customization. Then the child of the size box is going to be a page view builder. Sorry. Let's create the builder. So now we'll say in these 2 brackets, we'll say context. So what we need is a context and the index. Now in the build section, we are going to, but let's handle the page view builder itself. First of all, let's call the controller. Let's say sorry for this, let's say controller. The controller will be our previously created controller, which is the one we did at the beginning. Then we'll call the item count. The item count is going to be our images, which is the list we created. Images dot the length of any random images we have. In our item builder, we need to call a widget. At this point, what I'm using is a container. So let's add margin to the container. So say margin edge insert dot symmetric. So we are going to use horizontal. The horizontal should be 8, or then the vertical will be also the same thing. So we'll be using 10 at this point. Then the decoration is going to be box decoration, and we are going to use color of white. So we use colors dot white, and so for the border radius, we use a border radius. So we get a border radius is circular. Then we use 20. Now for the shadow, we call box shadow. The box shadow property is a list of shadows, but you can use as much as you want, but at this point I'm using one box shadow. Now the box shadow has some other properties. At this point we're using the color. We're going to use black. Then the blur radius, we're going to use 12. Then the offset, the offset is going to be an offset. The X is going to be 0 and the Y is going to be 6. You can actually customize it the way you want. Next step, next will be the child of the container. So the child of the container will be a custom widget, which I named let's call it a parallax card. So we'll create this widget at the long run. So what will happen is, let's just go down, then create this widget at the end. So we'll just call a class. Let's call the stateless widget. We'll call this one a parallax. Okay, so we'll call this one a parallax card. Then you see we have the arrow out here. So in this parallax card, we need to define some variables. The first variable will be a string. Let's say final string. This would be images, URL. Okay, index, so we can track the numbers of cards we have there. So this index would be final int. Okay, and we also have a controller, page controller. So we'll call it controller. Okay, so we need to construct all these variables we just created. So let's start by calling a required this dot image URL. Then we need require also this dot index, and also same thing. Let me just copy this dot controller. Okay, so have this stuff running now. So what will happen is, let's call those variables, or sorry, the properties for the new parallax card. So for the image URL, since it's a string, we'll call it from the index that's from the generated images we have here. We'll say images, then we choose from the index of the images. Then next is the index itself, so we can actually track the index of the particular image. So we just call index. Then we also have the controller. So this will be our page controller. So that's it. So now let's go back and arrange it properly. This is where most changes will happen. So we'll be using animated builder to actually achieve the parallax effect. So what we'll do here is to first of all remove this placeholder. Let's create the animated builder. So we'll create our animated builder. For the animation itself, we want to use the controller which we created here. So we use controller as our animation. Then for the builder, I'm just I will just type everything first, then explain how it works here. So what this does is it checks if there's an offset when you scroll the card left or right. So it checks it. Then if actually there's an offset, it sets the current page to this variable here, which is the double. So that's what it does basically. So our next expression is the parallax itself. So what to do here is to say, let me type it out, then I'll explain it. So what this does actually is to calculate how far it has gone from the screen, and the clamp here also prevents it from actually drifting far from the screen or the display itself. So this one calculates how far it has gone, and this the clamp prevents it from going further or away from the screen. So that's what this actually does, the parallax effect. So now we have to return a widget for our animated builder. So return a container. Now this container is going to have some customization. Let's start from the decoration. Now the decoration is going to be a box decoration, and we're going to have a border radius of circular. So we use 24. Also we'll be having shadow here. Let's say box shadow. Now the box shadow is going to have a box shadow. Now the color is going to be black. Colors as black. The blur radius is going to be 12, and the offset is going to be offset. The X is going to be 0, and the Y is going to be 6. So now the child of the container is going to be a clip rect. So let's say the child of the container is going to be a clip rect. Now it's going to have a border radius dot circular. So we use 24 here. Then the child of the clip rect is going to be a stack. So for the children of the stack, we are going to use transform dot translate. So this is where we will start using our effect for the card itself. So for the offset, we are going to use offset. Since we are using we are scrolling horizontally, so we use X. So X will be our parallax, then Y will be 0. So if you're using the vertical or horizontal, it all depends on what you want. So you just choose the position or the offset you want. Then the next step is going to be the child, which is the image itself. So the child, the child of the transform will be our image. So say image dot network. Now the source is going to be our image URL. Now let's make some small modification. We say it should fit the box, so we'll use box fit dot cover. So next is to create place where we can place the number of the index in the card itself. So next is let's use a container to place the index. So the container will use alignment. Let's use alignment dot bottom left. Now we use padding also, edge insert dot all, so we use 16. Next we use decoration, say box decoration. Then we use gradient. We want to use linear gradient, colors dot black. Let's make it 54. Then we use colors dot transparent here. Next, define where it starts and where it ends. Alignment dot bottom center. Then it ends at top center. So now the child of the container is going to be a text. The child is going to be a text widget, and we just simply add the number of the card. So we just say card, then some hash $sign index. So for the style of the text, let's say the style is going to be a text style, and we want to change the color to white, colors.white. Then the font size, let's use 22. Font size, we use 22. Then the font weight is going to be font weight, let's use weight of 600. So let's make some little adjustments. For the stack itself, let's add expand. That's for the feet, we'll add stack fit dot expand. Then I think that's all for now. So let's run it and see how it looks. All right, so this is how it looks. I have error here. Let's rectify. Okay, it's coming from this place. I mistyped. So okay, let's Ctrl S. So this is how it looks right now. So I can scroll left or right. You can see the parallax effect at the background, how the image behaves when you scroll. So basically you can actually customize this the way you want. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like my videos. Bye.